What if the Big Bang wasn't the beginning of everything, but the formation of something else? Not an explosion, not a creation event, but a boundary, the moment space-time itself crossed a threshold it could never return from. A boundary physics has only seen in one place, an event horizon. You are inside a black hole, not falling toward one, not approaching one, already inside, and you have been. Since the moment the universe began, every star you see, every galaxy, every particle of matter, all of it on this side of a boundary we cannot cross. And if that's true, then something else must also be true. There is an outside, a parent universe, where time moves differently, where the laws of physics might not be the same, but you will never see it. You will never reach it. You will never know what it looks like, because you are already on the wrong side of the most absolute barrier in physics. By the end of this video, you'll understand how this is possible, what evidence supports it, and why, if it's true, we may never be able to prove it from the inside. To understand how the universe could be inside a black hole, you first need to understand what a black hole actually is. Not a hole, not empty space. A black hole is a region of space-time where gravity has become so extreme that it warps the geometry of space itself. At the center, a singularity, a point where matter collapses so completely that the known laws of physics stop working. But the singularity isn't what traps you. It's the boundary around it, the event horizon. This is not a physical surface. You couldn't touch it. You couldn't see it as a wall. It's a point in space-time where the escape velocity exceeds the speed of light, which means once you cross it, not even light can climb back out. And here's what's strange. From your perspective, if you were falling in, you wouldn't feel the moment you crossed. No jolt, no barrier, no indication that anything changed. You would simply continue falling, unaware that you had just passed a point of no return. But to someone watching from the outside, you would appear to slow down, approaching the event horizon, but never quite crossing it. Your image would freeze, redshifted, dimming, until eventually you faded from view. Two perspectives, both correct. And this is where the universe starts to look familiar. Because when we look out at the cosmos, we see something similar. There is a boundary around us, not a physical edge, but a limit to how far we can see the observable universe. About 46 billion light years in every direction. Beyond that boundary, light has not had time to reach us yet. But here's the question almost no one asks, what if it's not? That the light hasn't reached us, but that it can't? What if the edge of the observable universe isn't just the limit of how far we can see, but something else entirely? An event horizon. In the 1970s, a physicist proposed something radical. What if every black hole contains an entire universe inside it? Not empty, not collapsed, but expanding. And what if our universe, with its Big Bang, its expansion, its 13.8 billion years of history, is the interior of a black hole that formed in a parent universe we will never see? The math, surprisingly, allows it, and the evidence is harder to ignore than you might think. So how would you know if you were living inside a black hole? The short answer, you wouldn't, but there are clues. Strange patterns that start to make sense if you're looking from the inside. First, the fact that everything is moving away from you. Look at the night sky. Pick any galaxy. It's moving away from you. Pick another one in the opposite direction, also moving away. In fact, every galaxy you can see is drifting farther and farther away, as if you were standing at the center of an explosion. But you're not special. An astronomer in any of those distant galaxies would see the exact same thing. Everything moving away from them. This is called expansion. And it's not because galaxies are traveling through space. It's because space itself is expanding. Now, imagine you're falling into a black hole. You cross the event horizon. From that moment on, no matter which direction you look, no matter which way you try to move, you are always falling toward the center, not because something is pulling you inward, but because the geometry of space has changed. Inward is simply the only direction left. Expansion and inevitable inward motion are not opposites. They're the same thing, viewed from different perspectives. Second, the light from the beginning. Right now, if you turn on an old TV and tune it to static, about 1% of that fuzz and noise is light. That has been traveling for 13.8 billion years. Light from the moment the universe began. We call it the cosmic microwave background. But you can think of it as an echo, an afterglow from the Big Bang. And when scientists measure the temperature of that light from every direction in the sky, they find something almost impossible. It's the same temperature everywhere. Not similar, the same, down to tiny fractions of a degree, which means everything in the universe, even regions of space that are now billions of light years apart, must have started from the same place, the same point, which is exactly what you'd expect if the universe didn't begin as an explosion, spreading outward into nothing, but as the interior of something that formed all at once, a black hole. Third, the Big Bang itself. We've always called it the beginning, but we've never really understood what that means. What came before? What caused it? If you ask a physicist, they'll tell you those questions don't make sense, because time itself started at the Big Bang. But that's not an answer. That's just admitting we don't know. If the universe is inside a black hole, the Big Bang stops being a mystery. It wasn't the beginning of everything. It was a transition, the moment a massive star collapsed in a parent universe and formed an event horizon. Everything inside that boundary started expanding into what we now call our universe. And finally, if this is true, then every black hole we see in our universe should work the same way, which means Sagittarius A*, the supermassive black hole at the center of our galaxy, might not be a dark, empty void. It might contain an entire universe, expanding, filled with stars, maybe even planets, maybe even life. We would never see it. They would never see us. But the boundary between us, the event horizon, would be absolute. And if our universe is one of those interiors, then somewhere, in a space we will never observe, there might be scientists looking at a black hole through a telescope, unaware that inside it you exist, unaware that you are looking back. But if we're truly inside, if this boundary is real, then there should be limits to what we can ever know. And there are. If we are inside a black hole, there should be things we can never see, places we can never reach. And there are. Right now, when you look up at the night sky, you can see about 46 billion light years in every direction. That's the edge of the observable universe. Not because there's nothing beyond it, but because light from anything farther away hasn't had enough time to reach us yet, or so we've been told. But what if it's not about time? What if there is something out there, galaxies, stars, entire clusters of matter, and the light from them is trying to reach us, but it can't? Not because it's too slow, but because the space between us and them is expanding faster than light can cross it. Imagine you're on a treadmill. You start running toward the front, but the treadmill is moving backward faster than you can run. You're moving forward, but the ground beneath you is moving faster. And no matter how fast you run, you will never reach the front. That's what happens to light trying to cross the expanding space at the edge of the observable universe. It's moving toward us, but space is expanding in the opposite direction, faster, which means there is a boundary beyond which nothing, not light, not information, not anything, can ever reach us. And that boundary, that limit, behaves exactly like an event horizon. Now think about what that means. If you're inside a black hole, there is a parent universe outside the event horizon. But you can never see it, you can never reach it. You can never send a signal to it. From the inside, it doesn't matter. If the parent universe exists because you have no way to interact with it, it might as well not be there. And that's exactly what we experience when we look at the cosmos. There could be an entire reality beyond the observable universe, infinite space, different laws of physics, other forms of matter, but we will never know because we are trapped on this side of a boundary we cannot cross, not by choice, not by technology, by geometry. Here's the strangest part. Even if we could prove we're inside a black hole, we still couldn't do anything about it. You can't escape an event horizon. Once you're inside, if we are inside a black hole, it hasn't stopped anything from happening. It just means we've been living on one side of a boundary the entire time without realizing there was ever another side, which brings us back to the question we started with. How would you know? And the answer, the real answer, might be simpler than you think. The question I asked at the beginning, how would you know? If you were inside a black hole, now you have the answer. You wouldn't, not with certainty, because the one thing you would need to prove it is the one thing you can never have: a view from the outside. You can measure expansion. You can map the edge of the observable universe. You can study the cosmic microwave background, but you cannot step outside the boundary and look back. You cannot send a probe beyond the event horizon and wait for it to report what it found, because if it crosses, it's gone. And if you cross, you're gone too. Not destroyed, not erased, just on the other side of a line that cannot be uncrossed. And here is the weight of that realization. If we are inside, then everything you know, every star, Every planet, every particle of matter has always existed. On this side, there was never a moment when you weren't inside. The universe didn't fall into a black hole. It may have begun as one, which means the parent cosmos, if it exists, is not a place you came from. It's a place you are never in, and you may spend your entire existence never knowing what it looks like. But here is the strange comfort, in that it changes nothing. The stars still shine, galaxies still turn, life still happens. You are still here, aware, alive, asking questions about the nature of reality. And that awareness, that ability to wonder whether you're trapped inside something larger, may be the most remarkable thing the universe has ever produced. Maybe you are inside a black hole, maybe you're not. Either way, you are standing on the edge of the deepest question anything has ever asked. What is this? And the fact that the universe has become aware enough to question itself means something. Even if you never get the answer, even if the answer is that you are looking from the wrong side of a boundary you will never cross, you're still looking, and that might be what matters most.